YouTube, this is the Merman Master coming back again from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. We are here today again with
Dark Magic Ian.
That's right, guys, and he is profiling a brand new deck for you guys.
No, it's an old deck I had previously on the channel, but it's like been updated quite a bit.
Okay, so what do we got?
We got Magical Musketeers.
All right, anything you want to say before we get into this?
I've kicked your butt with this deck more times than I can count.
Oh yeah, once you get that magical, once that first musket comes out, it's all bets are off, guys. So, all right.
So let's just get right into the deck profile. So, start off, you have your 3 cast bars, of course. So basically, for those of you who don't know what the Magical Muskets do, if they're on the field, you can activate Magical Musket spell or traps from your hand during either player's turn.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have fancy effects when you activate a spell or trap in their column. Where a cast bar, he's a Stratos. Yep. When you activate something in column, you activate a spell or trap in his column, and he lets you search out any magical musket card out of your deck.
Yep.
Very, very good card. He's got 2,000 defense, which sometimes comes up, which is really helpful.
Very good card.
Next up is 3 Magical Musketeer Starfire. This one is a tour guide if you activate a spell or trap in the same column as her. So when the spell or trap is activated in her column, you special summon a magical musket monster out of your deck in defense position.
Good card.
Very good card. 3 Kid Brave. This is the Destiny draw. You activate a spell or trap in his column, and you discard a magical musket card to draw 2 cards. Mm-hmm. This card actually has come in very clutch in our duels.
Yep.
I've had like a dead card in my hand that I've had like a brick hand aside from like a magical musket or a spell trap, and I activate it in this card's column, and then I get 2 fresh cards. Perfect. 2 of in my opinion the best, not the best. 2 Doc. This is Mermo Master. In Mermo Master's opinion, the best one.
I really don't like this card. Just the level of recursion that you have with this card is absurd sometimes, and especially Dark Magic Ian has capitalized a lot on recursion in this deck, and Doc plays an extremely important role in that.
So what this card does is, when you activate a spell or trap in his column, you get a magical musket card out of your graveyard. So like, he can't be hit by Call by the Grave unless you have another Doc in your graveyard. And we only play 2, so you're not going to have one in the graveyard anyway, for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the only weakness this card has is Call by the Grave.
Of course.
And that's all the Magical Musketeers, 11. All the good ones.
Yep.
And then hand traps. 3, no.
Yep.
No 4-head.
No 5-head.
6-head.
Huh. How much head is too much head?
There's never too much head.
Hoo-hoo.
Especially according to Father Jose.
Oh, of course.
Shout out to you, Father Jose, if you're watching this. This cat lolly says hi.
Yep.
But yeah, this just says no. They're commons, but my broke ass had to trade his secrets. Your boy had to trade his secrets away, but he has commons now because of the Soul Burner deck.
Yep.
3 Veiler because your boy doesn't feel like paying $90 a piece for impermanence.
Yeah.
Like, my opinion is, why spend like an extra? So in my opinion, I'd rather just play the Veiler and risk the Call by the Grave than spend the additional $89 to $90 on 1 copy of impermanence.
Yeah.
See, I don't really feel like paying $300 for a set of impermanences.
Granted, if you want to win the YCS, get the impermanence. But if you want to compete at the event, the Veilers are more than capable of holding their own.
I wish these were impermanences because basically it's a blank card in my deck. But until I get impermanences, our girl Veilers in here.
Absolutely.
That's all the monsters. Spells. We have 3 Cross Domination.
A very hated card.
This is the best of the Magical Muskets, in my opinion, at least. Magical Musketeer spell traps. So basically, this is a effect Veiler on steroids, in a way. It negates 1 monster's effect on the field and makes its attack and defense 0. It's like you can do battle tricks. So basically, this can negate a pesky like effect, like a search or something. But you can also do battle tricks with it, where if your opponent swings into one of your muskets, you can just drop this on them, and their monster goes to 0, and then your monster's safe.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing I will note is that muskets can activate both their spells and their traps from their hand. It just activates them. You don't have to set the traps before it happens or anything like that.
They're hand traps, basically.
Yeah.
And then 2 steady hands. I dropped this from 3 in my previous list because I needed to make room for other cards. But yeah, this is doubles the attack and defense. Yeah. The attack and defense of a musket. So basically, you can get Caspar to 4,000 defense with this. It's stupid. That's all the magical musket spells. For generic spells, we have 3 Gish Wasterbund, or Ties of the Brethren. This card's broken. Like, holy shit.
Especially in muskets.
You resolve this, you pretty much win. 3 Called by the Grave because I'm the only one who wants to resolve Ash. I don't want my opponent resolving Ash. I'm the only one who wants to resolve Ash in the match. Or any hand trap. This can actually also stop other effects. Like if someone has like another copy of a card they have on the field, you can just flip this up, banish thing in their grave, and they can't use it. Fun fact. It doesn't stop hand traps, it stops anything. As long as it's in the graveyard. Very, very good card. I'm surprised this card's a fucking common.
Yeah. I think his hand traps are rampant.
I had a feeling this was... I had the strongest feeling that before it was revealed in the... what is this called? in the Extreme Force Special Edition, I had a feeling this card would have been one of the secret rares in Flames of Destruction.
A lot of people did.
I thought it was going to be like a $100 card. Thank God it's like $1.
Yeah.
2 copies of Pot of Desires.
Of course.
Drawing 2 is pretty good. Remember how I said I'm not willing to spend money on impermanence? This card is a different story.
So explain this to the viewers.
Basically, Pot of Extravagance. You all know what this card does. If you're competitive and you're watching this profile, you know what this card does. You know what it does when playing against like Altergeists. But like for like casuals or people are just getting into the game that don't really know anything about the meta, no offense, this card basically lets you banish 3 or 6 random cards from your extra deck.
So you shuffle up your extra deck.
Shuffle up your extra deck, you banish 6 from the top face down, and you draw 1 card for every 3 that you banished. But you can only activate at the start of your main phase 1, and you can't draw for the rest of the turn.
So it's got a pretty fair, maybe sometimes troublesome restriction for some decks, but I think in Magical Muskets, it definitely holds its own, and Dark Magic Ian is about to explain why that is.
Muskets don't really need to use their extra deck that much, so you can afford to banish it. You don't really give a shit what you banish in your extra deck with Muskets. So like the +1 with this card is worth losing 6 cards in your extra deck.
Yeah.
Simply because your deck does not care about the extra deck.
Yeah, it doesn't even barely run one, and even then it's like...
And that's kind of just like whatever. It's just a toolbox that you can just use for situations, but like for the most part those situations never ever come up. So this card, I think, in my opinion, the two decks that can utilize this card the best are this deck and Altergeists.
And also the Subterra deck with
and Guru Control, like stun, control, like this deck and like stun and control decks use this the best.
And the advantage that this nets you is like absurd sometimes.
I have won so many games against our boy here that behind the camera with this card, it's not even funny. Funny thing is, shout out to you, Mermail Master. You're the one who traded me these cards.
Yep, I'm doomed to lose to the cards I trade to others. I was about to win, and he top decked that dang Extravagance.
This card is so good. If you guys can afford it, definitely pick it up.
I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, I proceeded to lose from there. So, very, very good card.
It is. Now, aside from turning this into a Pot of Extravagance review video, let's get back to the rest of the cards I run.
Agreed.
And then we have Upstart Goblin. It's a Magical Musket deck. This is just a blank.
Yep.
I'd be playing 3 of this. I'd probably cut if Upstart was at 3, I'd probably cut the Desires to play 2 more.
Yeah. Just give yourself more.
More like draws and like pluses and stuff. And then, Saki One-Ofs, Monster Reborn.
Of course. Got to.
This card's amazing. Why wouldn't you play it? And then I'm only running 6 traps. 3 copies of Desperado. This is the monster. This is the card popper, I think.
For those back in the day, it's the Drident.
It's the Drident, I guess, in the form of a trap card. It's a worse Drident in the form of a trap card. But in the deck, if you have a Magical Musket on field, it's basically a Drident.
Yeah.
And then for you really old school players, this is a combination of Magic Jammer and Trap Jammer. This card negates spells and traps. I think it's spells and traps.
Super broken, yeah.
Yeah, spells and traps. If this thing could negate monsters, then this card would be fucking broken. But it doesn't.
It would be an in-hand Infernity Barrier, if that was the case.
Yeah, but it's basically an in-hand Magic or Trap Jammer.
Yeah.
For you old school players out there. That's the main deck, 40 cards.
All right.
And then the extra deck, these are the only cards that matter.
Uh-huh.
These are literally the only cards in the extra deck that matter.
And then the rest of it is just like comes up randomly.
And the rest just comes up randomly.
Should just show the rest to everyone.
And then I have the Djinns in here. Just because they're cool.
Making a whole symphony out of your extra deck.
Yeah, I am. And then I have Underclock Taker, Cerberus, Decode Talker, and Borload.
Nice. Closing out the deck. All right. Well, that was an awesome deck profile. I know you have really taken a liking to the Muskets as of recently.
I have. With the release of Pot of Extravagance, that makes them so much better. Maybe not like, oh, I'm going to win a YCS or I'm going to win like Nats with this deck, but like I could probably be comfortable taking this deck to a regionals.
But yeah, it's a very good deck, and I think that it's something that a lot of players are sleeping on currently. A lot of players have started. I think Caspers and stuff like that have started to go up, so it is a deck that can compete at that very, very high level if it's got a good pilot. So
I'm looking forward to Max and Dual Power, I think.
Uh-huh.
Oh man,
so.
You guys can look forward to an updated deck profile when that comes out. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have so much fun messing with that card.
We are super excited for it, and we'll bring this to you as soon as it happens. But guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe on the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. This has been the Mermail Master with
Dark Magic Ian.
And we're signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.